Good evening, everyone. Glad to see you here this evening. At this time, at 6:30, I will call this City Commission meeting of May 25th, 2017 to order. We shall have our invocation by High Springs Police Department Chaplain Jessica Hall, and we will follow that by our Pledge of Allegiance. Welcome, Jessica.
Good evening. Let us pray. Father, we thank and praise you for this day because truly this is a day that the Lord has made, and we're rejoicing and we're glad in it. As we come before you this evening to do business concerning our city and our citizens, we ask that you would lead us and guide us. We ask today, Father, that you would just direct the minds and the thinking of those that you've placed in authority over this city. We ask that you would bless the commissioners, bless the High Springs Police Department, High Springs Fire Department, and all the staff that has been employed through this wonderful city. Father, we ask that you would continue to bless us and protect us and keep us and shield us from all hurt, harm, and danger from those who seek to do us harm. We ask that you would just shield us and keep us safe. We ask that you would bless all who travel through this city. We ask that you would bless every business person, every school, every child in this community. Hedge us up on every side. And as we go before you tonight to conduct business at hand, we ask that you would lead us and guide us and forever keep us in your grace. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have roll call, please?
Mayor James?
Here.
Vice Mayor Evans?
Here.
Commissioner Williams?
Here.
Commissioner Jameson?
Here.
Commissioner Jones? Here.
Thank you. Before I entertain a motion on the approval of the agenda today, we need to look at new business and add item number 7, which is a discussion on the interagency agreement between Gainesville and High Springs Police Department.
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the new business item number 7, the interagency agreement between Gainesville and High Springs PD.
Second.
Okay, it has been properly moved and second that the agenda be approved with the one requested addition. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposes, nay. All right, agenda is approved. At this time, we will entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes from May 11th.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and second that the minutes from May 11th be approved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Next item is presentation of K-9 training certificate to High Springs Police Department Officer Ethan Personnel.
Good evening, Madam Mayor,
Good evening.
Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney. Joel DeCourcy, Chief of Police, City of High Springs. This is always a wonderful thing when we have people that go to training, and we have a new dog, Caesar, and Brother Ethan has spent many, many hours getting trained. Anything that we use or any tool that we use on the utility belts, we have to be trained in it. Canine apprehension, narcotics. So Caesar is certified now, state certified, to apprehend as well as track and search for narcotics. And I said that with this by saying this: anything that we use, we have to be trained in it. You notice I don't have a taser on because we have to be tased with a taser.
I can help you with that.
No, sir. After 31 years, I learned. So it's a pleasure and honor to present this certification of completion and recognition to Officer Ethan Presnell and K9 Caesar. We didn't bring Caesar in. He's still a little puppy, but he's not a little puppy. He's excitable. He's a big puppy. And it's for having successfully completed narcotics and apprehension K9 training. And it's a very extensive training and going through the woods and the CDs, the dog works along with Ethan. You can throw an article, your keys, anything, and it's going to help out with senior citizens that stray away from the house. We could find them as well. So you throw an article out there, he'll go catch it. He'll go find it. So that is a very good asset to the city, and it's going to help the city tremendously. We have a lot of wonderful citizens in this community that really support us. They want to remain anonymous, but this is something from his dear heart that he decided he wanted to contribute. And this is a Clark with Ethan, and I'll bring it to you and let you see it. Before I get it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Handmade.
Oh,
Yeah.
A lot of
Like
talented,
that.
a lot of talented people in this community, and it comes from the heart. Now, thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
I come all the time. I have to give a hug. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know that. Can't miss it. So I have to give you one too. Oh, okay.
Is the board in the way?
Okay.
There you go.
Giving me in free.
It's just blocking that ugly picture of that person that's on the bottom.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's go do it.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ethan.
Good job,
You bet.
Congratulations and thank you for all that you do. Okay, moving right along.
That canine is popular.
I'm telling you, it's a popular one, isn't it? Right on you, son. Citizens' requests and comments for issues that are not on the agenda tonight. Please state your name for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes, please. Okay.
My name's David Levins. I've been to the city Public Works a number of times asking, not for zone changes or anything, but a request for one or someone to meet me at a possible land that I'm looking to buy, so I can see what I can do with it. I know that it's on paper. I can look and see what I can do with it for building codes and where the door faces and certain things like that. But the building that I want to possibly build on a site that I built by in High Springs is going to be a little odd. It's going to be a pole barn with a possible apartment in the back. So I know I want to talk to someone at Public Works or what is that? Person that does that for me.
Right, a permit.
So, since I went down there recently, there's been a couple people either let go or on leave. So I didn't know if there was going to be somebody that I could talk to that in the near future.
There is, and there's somebody there now.
Okay. What is that person's name?
Bill?
Bill? Last name?
He's the only Bill there.
He's only Bill
The
there, and
only
he's
Bill
just
there.
probably filling in for a meantime. Or
That's right.
Okay. All right, good enough. Thank you.
Anyone else from
Is he
the
the only
audience?
builder?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, seeing no one else, we'll close this section and we will move along to new business. Item number 1. Review and consider approval of bids for the following projects.
Yes, ma'am. And this is from the heart. There is the resurfacing of the basketball court at Walter Howard Park, and it's in desperate need. I don't think you can tell that it's a basketball court, but it definitely needs to be resurfaced and brought up like all the other parks. There is also the installation of the playground equipment at Walter Howard Park, and I'm assured that by the 16th of June that it will be in place. Yes? Shake yes, or? You come up. Yeah, that's right. We're, I know.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yes.
No, I was just here. I put in the bid to either have it completed by the 16th. If not, then we'll start July 1st.
Right.
Either or. If he won't finish in time, then we'll be done. But like I said, once we select, then I can really get into scheduling, and there's no telling what his schedule is.
Right.
But the playground of this size would probably take a decent amount of time. So, like I said, with who the bid is, I would assume we would start July 1st and finish middle to end of July.
What about the basketball court?
Now the basketball courts, that's what once again after tonight I was going to go on scheduling. That is something that you can get done a lot quicker, and that would be our goal to have that done by the 16th if possible. Once again, it's up to their schedule. We don't really have much competition here.
Yeah, that would really make the individuals having the event happy to have.
Yeah. And that's something that doesn't take as long to install as at the playground, so we could probably get that done before the 16th for sure.
Do we have just one bid on basketball?
Yes.
Okay.
So if he's available, then if not, we can't really go to anybody else, right?
Is this out of general fund?
FERDAP.
Part of the grant?
FERDAP, yeah.
And I think you have to vote on these one at a time.
Make a motion to approve, unless anybody else has anything to question. Make a motion to approve the resurfacing of basketball courts to Tennis Unlimited Maintenance and Supplies. They were the only one that did.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, it has been properly moved and second that Tennyson be awarded the contract for resurfacing the basketball court at Walter Howard Park. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hold on. So, I see you got a color shot here. Are you going to pick the color? Or?
I can hold a public meeting to see what color we want to pick, but we can pick any colors really. I haven't picked color. He does he has a color swatch, as you can see there, and he can do any colors, but if we get enough requests, I'm open to anything. The playground is like carbon fiber mixed with baby blue and white. That was just the color swatch that came on the unit that we purchased, but like I said, I'm open to really anything.
So now
It's the same guy who did the last court, so you can got an idea for it.
yeah, I never looked at those over there. So now where the asphalt is now, where it's black, that's going to stay. Are they paint that also or what?
Yeah, well, basically what we'll start with is we first got to assess, we'll pressure wash it, clean it, all the existing that's there, yes, and then you fill all the cracks, and you're going to add 3 layers on top of that as your court resurfacing.
Okay.
And based on the shape of Walter Howard's court compared to Civic Center's is in a lot better shape, and you could see how Civic Center's came out, and it told them pretty well too.
So the surface going to stay black? That's what I'm asking.
No, it'll look at the surface underneath, yeah, but we're going to put a surface on top with those 2 of those colors.
So you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what the point I was trying to get to.
Yes.
So then, we'll say like if we want to paint there, I'm just throwing something out there, paint the surface blue, and then the lines white. So
Yep, you could do that. You could do 3 colors. You could do blue and the lines white, and inside the paint could be red. He has a bunch of pictures I can look up, and we can look at all the different color combos. But they can do any one of those colors. You can pick 3 of them, and the lines can be white, yellow, red, green.
And then you say the equipment is blue?
Yeah, the equipment is like the poles are carbon fiber with white, and then blue and yellow.
I think he spoke to you.
No, just
Yeah, no, I'm kidding, just kidding. But yeah, so like I said, I was usually try to match it, but it doesn't necessarily have to match. I mean, you kind of want a theme there usually. We'll make it look good. But yeah, I'm open, and I can show you the color palette of the playground as well. We can.
I think if we just instruct him to try to match it. I mean, I don't care. You can try it, but
Yeah.
just instruct him to match.
Well,
Take a look at
Can we,
the
oh, no, you're right. So can we do this on the deal? I mean, could we go ahead and just basically say, run the colored by and allow
Yeah.
Commissioner Williams and you to make the decision? Because I trust you, and it's in you. I mean, I would have no issue with basically saying you two guys get together and figure out the color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is
that works.
everybody okay with that?
So moved.
Okay. As
Perfect.
long as it's orange blue.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else, it really doesn't matter.
That's bright. You can see the orange and blue court from space. It looks
Two
like.
little garnet gold on one.
Nah,
You got a Gator alumni
all
here.
the cops. Okay, so you guys got the colors.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a first and a second.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, we got a first and a second, so all those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay? Okay, that motion carries 5-0. Okay, and then we have installation of playground equipment at Walter Howard Park.
Yep. Basically same contractor that did the last two playgrounds. He did great work, and he's certified, and that's what you want with the safety. He's CPSI certified along with myself, so we can audit it as we build it, so it's not an issue at all. And he came in at a price that I thought it was going to be, so I kind of got lucky with that as well.
So you think that price is?
It's huge. It's huge. I'm excited to see this one because we got the matching grant with it. It's pretty big.
Where's the 12,000 come from?
That's in FERDAP. I put. Yeah, what we looked at is we're cutting it close because we had the match, so we went a little higher on the unit, but it's through. The installation will be through that, yeah. And then it'll look very similar to Civic Center. It'll have the borders, mulch. This time we're going to put a weed mat down. So we learned from that, and we'll put that down. We'll kill the grass back so that we won't have any grass issues. But yeah, the capacity of it's like 108 kids or something. It's pretty big.
Good deal.
Right. Just as a sideline, in next year's budget, all matches will come out of the well spaces.
Correct.
Unless anybody has any other questions,
I'm good.
make a motion to award the installation of playground equipment at Walter Howard Park to Kennecott.
Yep.
Whatever the one bid we got.
Second.
Yeah, Kennecott.
Yep.
Okay, it has been properly moved and seconded that the installation of the playground equipment at Walter Howard Park be awarded to Kennecott for completion.
Will you make a motion? I mean, I just want to say this before we vote. The equipment's in that park right now, the playground equipment in that park right now, I played on it as a kid. Yes.
Is it like stones?
It is.
It's
Yeah.
old, y'all. I mean, it's the old iron, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But them things that been outlawed for what, 20 years now?
yeah.
You know, so
Wow.
it's time to.
What happens what happens to the old equipment?
Well, we're gonna go through that. I can even get with you too. Some things we can keep, some things we should not keep, as opposed to just safety. But we looked. I went over there and did a few things. The swings will stay. Those are going to be renovated as part of this. We're going to put new swings, new swing belts. What we're looking at now is the cube structure. That would be the one thing that we were thinking about potentially getting rid of. And if the slide, I have to measure a few things on the slide to make sure that can stay up to compliant. Because it was built so long ago, it's basically grandfathered into any rules that they've made over the years, but you want to put a surface under everything out there because it's high enough, and the problem is that's expensive. So, like I said, I'll I'm talking with it's like a CPSI board that I can meet and ask questions to see what they think, because it's more of like guidelines as opposed to like strict regulations. But there are a few things that we can keep out there for sure. The walls, the swings, the bouncers, because they like that. So we'll keep that for sure. And then we'll see what we can put surfaces under. You know, if we have a little extra mulch here and there, maybe we can put the surfaces under the current equipment.
So you that classic looking slab board, you talking about keeping it?
If wanted. If you want things to go, we could take it out. Because to be honest, with this new structure that's going in, you could take everything out and you won't miss anything. It has everything. And my vision for every park, you want a 5 to 12 structure, which is what this would be, 5 years old to 12 years old, and you want a 2 to 5 year structure, which I'm labeling as phase 2 for every park. So when you see Catherine Taylor phase 2 or Walter Howard phase 2, it'll be a 2 to 5, a smaller structure for children that are 2 to 5 years old, and that's where that would go in the future. That's what I had in mind.
What about a 36-year-old?
I tested it. You can try it.
Anything there that
But yeah, so that. But yeah, so if anything like you guys recommend we take out, we could just take it out. That's fine.
Again, I would leave it to Byron.
Yeah.
And the two of you guys work and.
Yeah, you probably have an idea of what's used the most and what's the favorite. I don't want to take away the favorite. But like I said, if it's something that we want to keep, I can find a way to make it safe. Whether it be surfacing or you name it, we could figure it out.
Okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, motion carries 5 to 0. All right, now number C, item 1 says removal of hazardous trees.
This we do every year. This year the price has come down. We have paid as much as $16,000 for the 18 trees. I mean, that's generally what we put in our list. This is $9,500, a good price. And this takes care of most of the hazardous trees on our right-of-way. Right.
Comment, question?
Madam Mayor, I would suggest the city manager park his truck under any between that we can discern which trees need to be removed. That would be the best way to handle it.
Maybe it'll fix
He
it.
can leave the keys and we can just move it around while he's nice, and that way if one hits it, we can move it to another.
No, one already hit it. I'm sorry. I no longer park underneath a hazardous tree behind City Hall. You'll find my truck parked in the parking lot.
Parking space. Yeah.
Yes, and I have about 6 dents in the hood.
And I'm just curious, who identifies the trees?
David and his crew, Public Works. We
identifies
usually
them?
start with individual complaining. We go out and look at it, see if it's live or not, see if it's dangerous, then it goes on the list.
Okay.
He also picks out trees as we drive around.
Okay.
I know the good pastor had some trees that he identified, and we looked at that, and we're taking out at least 1 or 2 of his trees.
Okay, I just wanted, okay.
Nobody yet.
Yeah, no one yet, but
Who's the lowest bid
it's the only bid.
from? Okay, who's the only bid from?
I'm looking at that. Okay, Champion Tree Incorporated, High Springs.
You're going to extend that bid or not?
You need to come up to this.
If you have questions, you need to come up to the.
Oh, sorry, sorry. Never mind.
So we're okay? I mean, the bid's okay?
The bid's okay. It closed and they selected
Okay. And that was the only one?
is the only one.
Make a motion to award the removal of hazardous trees to Champion,
Yes.
whatever the heck here in Hot Springs.
Champion Tree Incorporated.
Champion Tree Incorporated.
Second.
Okay,
Let me know that that's 18 trees will be coming out. Am I correct?
18.
18 trees. All right, all those in favor of awarding the removal of the hazardous trees to Champion, please so indicate asking aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries 5-0.
But to answer your question, sir, once a bid is posted and dated, you pretty much have to go by the date on that bid unless nobody responds to it. Just to answer your question.
All right. Item number 2, declare 1991 E1 International Fire Truck as surplus.
Madam Mayor, this is a vehicle that doesn't run. It can no longer be used as a fire truck. It's just been sitting there over a number of years. It's time to try to sell it. If not sell it, we usually donate it to some organization.
I mean, is it a fire truck?
Well, it's sort of a fire truck.
I mean, because if you could donate it to me,
Yeah.
put it in the backyard, I think I could turn it into a bar.
We could probably let you buy it for a few thousand.
Never mind. Make a motion to declare 1991 E1 International as surplus.
Second.
Mhm.
All right. It's been properly moved in second that the E1 International Fire Truck be declared surplus. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Number 3, consider ordinance 2017-5.
Madam Mayor, this is an ordinance of the City of High Springs, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Article 5, Division 2, Code Enforcement Board of the City of High Springs Code of Ordinances, authorizing the appointment of one or more special magistrates having power and authority as set forth herein, repealing all ordinances in conflict and providing a severability and providing for codification and providing an effective date. The appropriate motion is to pass ordinance number 2017-05 upon its reading by title only.
Okay, discussion?
Got a question for the attorney. So
Yes, sir.
what's the reason for the word and saying one or more?
Usually you try to find, what will happen is we'll pass this ordinance and then that authorizes you to either have a code enforcement board or a special magistrate. And it's hard to get a code enforcement board seated in almost all cities. So now we're going to this special magistrate form. And the reason you do one or more is that if one of the special magistrates is busy doing something off or on vacation or whatever, and you have an issue that is time sensitive because you've sent out your notices and you have to have a hearing within a certain period of time, then you go to the second person on the list. So what we envision happening is pass this ordinance, and the schedule will be that second reading of this ordinance will be your first meeting in June, which will be June 8th. And then we'll send out an RFP for special magistrates. We'll, depending on what kind of response we get, we'll select 1, 2, 3, perhaps 3 special magistrates, and then we may have them on a rotation basis so that if one can't do it, then another one sits in. And all of this is for the effort of trying to gain code enforcement services in the city. That's really what this is all about. As you'll recollect, several of the meetings that we've had, citizens have complained about code issues that are not complied with. So your manager is identifying this as a way of getting a code enforcement procedure implemented. And then the sub part of this, and I was going to talk about this at my comments, but we might as well talk about it since we're on the subject now, is that we've identified a code enforcement officer, Rick Wolf, who's retired from the county of Alachua, and he served in that position for a number of years and is very experienced in that regard. Right now we're working out the contract with Mr. Wolf. He will not be able to start until August 6th. He would start as a part-time employee for the city, and so we don't give him benefits. We're not certain how many hours he'll get per week, if it's 10 hours, 20 hours. This is kind of the bailiwick of your manager to work out with Mr. Wolf. But he's interested in doing it. He's kept up all his certification, that sort of thing. So come August, we should have a new employee, part-time employee in this arena that can cite 90% of the code enforcement procedures are going to get taken care of by your officer. It's that few that go through to the board, and then the magistrate will deal with Mr. Wolf, who will prosecute the case, and then the magistrate will issue an order as to whether or not the person should be fined. And so that's the procedure. All of this is happening at about the same time as you're doing your new budget. So I think all of this is going to fall hand in hand with each other as far as the procedure is concerned. So that's a step-by-step procedure where we'll have this implemented. So by end of summer, we should be in pretty good shape, hopefully with code enforcement.
Well, I think that's important. I see some people here that have obviously been here on some issues. I've always said in the deal, the one thing that really just bugs me about government is I really don't like it because of the delay, and it just irks me. But I do think that this puts in place, doesn't replace, and I want to make sure on this one here, the planning doesn't go away.
No.
By law, it doesn't go away, so if we wanted to go back, you had the option. And the magistrate is only paid when used. There's no like retainers that are out there like this. So it doesn't, if you got 3 of them, you're not paying 3 of them, you're paying them as they're used.
That's right, by the hour when they're used.
By the hour when they're used. So it's not the best answer, but I think it's the best answer that we have within the processes of government to get something done to do it. So I'm pleased that we've gone that route with the magistrate. I think that's better. And so then when we cite people, we can actually have a little teeth behind it to do something. So
Courtney's drafted the contract too, so it's all these things are in motion.
It'll fall in place. I just think that people need to, for those people who have come up here, they need to know that something's actually on a timeline to be done, and not having to wait and then get the same answer again a month from now. Well, we're working on it. We're working on it. So if nobody else has anything to say, I'll make an ordinance. Let's pass this baby and get it done as fast as possible.
I'll second. And do we want to open the floor for public comment?
Anyone from the public have anything to say on this issue?
More than welcome.
Okay.
That's the first time I've been clapped.
Enjoy it.
Very good. All right, do we have a motion on this?
Yeah, we got a motion in a second.
Okay, roll call please.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Mayor James?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Evans?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Jameson?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Motion carries 5-0. All right. Item number 4, review and consider approval of updated city building lease.
Madam Mayor, this is a form lease that the city intends to use for any of the properties that we're leasing out. It has standard terms so that we'll have a uniform lease now that we implement for each one of the properties. And even if the person is utilizing the property for minimal charges, then it states that the lessee will pay the 100% of the utilities. And one of the items that we discussed at the last meeting was that the tenant will have to have insurance requirements as per the city's request, and that the tenant will be responsible for minor repairs up to $500, and the city will be responsible for expenses that total more than $500. So there's a minor and major criteria. If it's changing a light bulb or the air conditioner, filters, that sort of thing, that's a tenant responsibility. Anything over and above that, $500 would be the city. So there's a differential, and this will be the lease that is utilized for purposes of each tenant for each one of our properties now. The appropriate motion would be to pass the form lease and direct the city to use this as the form if it's acceptable and approved by this commission.
Discussion on the panel?
How would you go about, Mr. Booth, Mr. Walker, how would you go about implementing this or so forth with the people who are already there? Do they have something in place now that this, do they have a contract that goes, this would supplant that contract, or how would it be implemented?
We really don't have contracts. We have just agreements.
Okay.
And so everybody, we sort of treat a little differently. And this, as I will go through and talk to each group and say, this is important because we have to treat you the same as we do everyone else. And the truth is, if somebody were to question, I would be hard pressed to say I treat everybody the same.
So what will be, so I'm assuming you will have a start date the same, and it'll
Yes.
be a yearly start date. So the start date is when?
October 1.
That's what we're
Okay,
shooting for.
so we're gonna go everything like, so
Yes,
a
everything
fiscal,
on-
so a
Right.
fiscal year.
Yes.
I know we had talked about, on the other contracts, I thought doing on calendar year.
I think most of our
calendars,
contracts
aren't
are from October.
Yes?
Mhm.
That would be the other entity that I work, I guess.
Thank you.
I'm getting, I apologize. I thought there was something that, okay. So,
You get confused?
yes. So all contracts then, in essence, will be a fiscal year contract.
That is correct, because then we can budget for it
Right.
and everything.
Okay. Perfect.
Do we have any other comments from the panel?
Is there anything, Scott, you mentioned it's under 500, like changing an AC filter, stuff like that. Is there anything in there, like say if a tenant doesn't change the AC filter, and a minor repair leads to a major repair, or like say doesn't replace a shingle or whatever have you, and something minor leads to a major repair, is there anything in there to protect something like that? Or?
That would be the law if and if our AC man comes in and says, look, they just never changed a filter for 3 years and now you got to change out your air handler because it's been destroyed, then we would seek recompense for that if that were to happen.
Do we have any comment? Question? And just to make sure that we're all understanding where we're going with this, it was that we had certain of our city buildings where our occupants were paying rent, and there were others where our occupants were paying utilities and no rent. So we're trying to get everybody on the same page so that we'll all be paying utilities. Okay, am I correct?
You are.
All right,
I make a motion to pass it.
Second.
all right, shall we have roll call for approval, please?
James,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. Item number 6, review of financial statement through March 2017.
5.
Yeah, we'll make it.
Yeah.
Miss
I'm
Fox.
sorry.
Ordinance 1706.
Madam Mayor, this is ordinance number 2017-6. I'll go ahead and read that by title only. This is an ordinance of the City of High Springs, Florida, amending Chapter 78, Article 1, Utilities in General of the City of High Springs Code of Ordinances, establishing a readiness to serve charge for water for those property owners who shall fail to connect to an available water system within the notice period of time, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date. The appropriate motion is to pass ordinance number 2017-06 as read by title only.
This, the requirement is if you're within 200 feet of a water line, you must connect to that water line. This is almost a state law also goes right along with it.
This is basically just the same thing we did with sewer, just with water.
Exactly.
With water this time. Discussion? The panel, comment, concern? All right, from the audience?
Let me just say in the deal, I mean, this is, we have two ordinances, just so people know. We have two ordinances out there that says they have to connect. Those ordinances have been there.
Yeah.
And we haven't, for whatever reason, we haven't equally applied the ordinances to everyone. And so what we're trying to do is, so some of us aren't subsidizing for the others, is trying to just follow what the ordinance says and do what the law says. And so that's basically where we're at on this one here, just so everybody is basically partaking and doing the same. So I thank you for doing this.
Very well said, Commissioner. Appreciate it.
Well, let's pass this. Yeah. Go.
Any other comments on the panel? Any comments from anyone in the audience?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2017-6.
Second.
Okay, it has been properly moved in second, so we're gonna ask for a roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Evans,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Jameson,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, we'll go to item number 6.
Madam Mayor, taking a look at the financials, we're really right on line. The only caveat we have is the ad valorem is coming in greater than we had, because we are very conservative, is coming in a little greater than we anticipated. That's always a good thing. And looking at your last amended budget, you're probably looking at your new budget coming forward. And so we'll keep it very conservative as we do, because we also have the following year where the state has taken away some ad valorem in 2019. So I think it's important to stay conservative so that we don't have to cut back in 2019.
Can I say this so far, we losing it in 2019?
The state has, actually you have to go for a vote. It's a constitutional amendment that the legislature has passed that says they are adding an additional $25,000 to homestead exemption for homes between 100,000 and 125,000. Our impact doesn't appear to be that as great as I first thought, but we are still going to keep it extremely conservative so that we don't get caught. And the county is going to lose $9 million, and that is from them, and Gainesville, $12 million.
Well, I mean, I think we need to be, just for the mere fact, and another thing is you're going to have your code guy and you're adding some positions.
Mm-hmm.
And we just need to make sure that you don't take on
more than I can afford.
Annual type of expenditures.
True.
With not knowing what the revenue may be in 2 years.
Right.
So I would agree as far as being conservative on what we're doing, because you've got the planner now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have the code enforcement guy, the part-time. So I mean, we need to keep that in mind. So I would agree with that.
Any other comments?
Anything?
Okay.
And I didn't see anything, so for what it's worth, I went through it, but I just wanted to make sure that. Okay.
Okay. Last item, item number 7. Discussion of the agency agreement between Gainesville Gainesville and High Springs Police Departments.
This is a normal interlocal agreement where we assist them when they need it or they assist us. And our police department has that with the county, the police force, Alachua, probably Newberry. It's a normal thing, just allows us to assist them.
Well, this was some type of, where you can get some records and all that type of stuff.
Yes, sir. The city of Gainesville, the keeper of the records, and any information that we provide for them, and if it's not accurate enough, then they won't. If it's not accurate and something happens, then they won't be held responsible for it. It'll be our responsibility to make sure we get them accurate information to put in the computer. And we share this. It's an industry standard, and it's one of those memorandum of understanding agreements that we will due diligence to make sure that the information that we provide to them is accurate and true, and vice versa. Anything they give us. So we go arrest somebody and we got bad information, then if based on theirs or ours, then whoever provided that information have to make sure it's accurate. Be it the sheriff's office, GPD, but they keep our records and our CADs, computer automated dispatch.
Everything in line with the agreement with UQ?
Yes, sir.
Everything in line. Scott?
Yes, sir.
Good to go.
Make a motion to approve the interagency agreement between GPD and High Springs Police Department.
Second.
Okay, it has been properly moved in second that the agreement between Gainesville and High Springs Police Department be approved. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Those opposing, nay. Okay, motion carries 5-0. Okay, city attorney report, no.
Nothing, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am, I always have things. I have issued the fire chief a letter that basically states that he is the city manager while I'm gone to the outback in Iceland. Bruce,
That's,
the fire chief.
who's going to be in charge of the responsible party for the city?
Yeah, Bruce. That's it. I had the chief on the rotation. However, apparently by state law, he can't be the city manager because he holds the office of chief of police. So Bruce is up. The park board has asked for a workshop in July, and if there's no objections, we'll put it 45 minutes prior to the meeting in July. There are no objections, we'll do that. Okay.
Do we have to attend
Take
that, or is
note.
that strictly the Parks and Rec?
No, they want to have a meeting with you. I mean, you can opt not to go to it, but that's what they're asking.
What meeting?
So it's probably the first meeting in July. We'll have the.
We'll send something out.
We'll send something out. Just a few hours ago, as we were getting ready for this meeting, a lady from the county dropped off paperwork for 2 more houses that we now own. And more to come. Apparently, the tax collector is working up through his list, and by state law, if they're in the city, they have to give them to the city. These are not as nice as the one that we just received over here on 242nd Street. These are smaller, in the range of 1,000 square feet. One of them is occupied, and Courtney will start working on it almost immediately. We're going to become experts in housing. I've asked our attorneys to work with the attorney in Alachua to come up with an interlocal agreement on the building department. Their building department feels that they can work with us and run ours as a joint venture. He's well qualified, is helping us with a problem there, and so I believe that is the best interest. It also reduces our cost.
Interim or long-term?
Long term. He's doing it interim till the attorneys work out all the details. There's also a feeling that we need to adopt their schedule because there are some anomalies in our own schedule as it was developed here recently that needs to be worked out. They have done a great job, and they look at their fees every 6 months. So for us, this would be a win-win with our sister city.
Okay. Well, what's the length on the, Mr. Walker, what's the length on it? What are we looking time frame?
As far as getting the interlocal agreement, I think we can have it ready for you by the next meeting. We need to interact with them and their city manager, but
He's on right now, basically as an interim, right? He's doing work now.
correct.
And this would just legalize it or finalize.
That's right. It would create a long-term relationship.
Okay.
But we're saving money.
And we're saving money, even from one of the vehicles, because the vehicle has gone to Robert at the parks, and it will be shared by our individual who is doing code enforcement. That just keeps from having to buy another vehicle. And that makes Jennifer very happy. Where?
So he gonna have office hours over here? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, he will come in here probably half a day, look at the building permits. He'll have schedules, so he goes out. I mean, we'll have a clerk there. Actually, Ginger is moving over there because he's requested her, because he trusts her. And so it works out great, and they will help with that building department. And then, yeah, he feels that he can do both jobs. I talked to the city manager, and she said also, based on his schedule and that, he can do both.
What are their work days?
Same as ours, Monday through Thursday.
Okay. So I'm just on the deal. He'll be able to do it. You don't have a 5-day week. He'll be able to do both within 4 days. Since
will.
There's no 5th day.
Yes.
Okay.
And you told me the other day you only work till Tuesday, and then you just kind of.
Well. Yeah.
Mr. Walker, in the agreement, will it specify days? Will it be down like Tuesday and Thursday here, Monday, or will it be hours? I'm just curious.
Right.
Do you get that finite, or is it?
It's going to be, excuse me, but it'll be impossible to do that. It will be based on the number of builders needing inspections for permits. So we really won't know. What we'll try to do is limit them for like in the morning, and then he can go to Alacho in the afternoon. But to give him specific times, that's going to be almost impossible.
Kind of like if 1 week we have none and Alachua has a bunch, he'll be over there a lot more.
Exactly.
And then vice versa.
And that's why I'm just wanting to make sure, how the thing is written to where we're making sure we have adequate coverage.
It is, oh, we do. And right now, we have an interlocal with Alachua already, and he's already over here.
Again, I just want to make sure.
Taking care of things.
With what we have going on, I want to just make sure that there's adequate coverage.
Absolutely.
It, by its necessity, will be a bit of an experiment.
I got it.
We'll have a 30-day out clause or something like that.
I hope it works.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I hope it works.
Yes.
Okay.
And then let's get the name right. Ginger will be over there full time now.
Yes, you will.
Okay. And then plus the other young lady that was sharing time with the fire department.
He'll be downstairs.
Yeah,
Well, not at first, but yeah.
At first, just to get a lot of stuff cleaned up.
Mhm.
We're going to be short downstairs, but we'll keep on.
Okay.
We're going to put 2 people for 60 days, and then we're going to reassess to see if everything's. It just wasn't organized very well. So I think when 2 people over there will get cleaned up quicker. And then one of them will stay there, and one of them will come back over.
Okay. The reason I, cause, you know, problem with 2 down there would be kind of a good question.
I think they're okay.
Mhm.
Did they?
I'll help.
They're fine.
I'll help
She'll help you.
you. I'll help you.
I would sit there and look pretty. I got some will up here.
Sit down and what?
Disruption is what it would be.
Set your desk up.
Don't even go there.
Tell them about the house on.
Oh, yes, well,
42nd Street.
that's right. That's on 242nd Street. It's only like four houses up, 3 houses up. It looked a lot better than we anticipated, have gone in it, and so we've decided to show it rather than just board it up. It has almost 2,200 square feet, 3 bedrooms plus an additional room. Has 2 fireplaces and central air. It does have a little bit of a smell from the cats that were in there. However, this is more of a fixer-upper than it is, and the minimum bid is $50,000. $50,000 on a 2,200 square feet. Plus, it has almost an acre of land associated with it. It is a good deal. The other 2 houses we do, I'm told, aren't nearly as good. One being lived in, the other one being almost minuscule. So we'll deal with those as we start getting in these houses. We'll deal with it.
What's that address again?
Thank you.
It's on 242nd.
1879 Northwest 242nd Street.
We are showing the house on the 8th of next month and on the 31st of this month. David will show it, 10 to 2. David will show it, and then I'll show it on the 8th.
Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it? That's it? Okay. Commissioner Jones?
Nothing at this time.
I'm good.
Commissioner Williams?
You're that far away.
Before you get out tonight, I'm catching before you leave tonight. I just want to commend you for coming to these meetings. And when we need someone to pray, you have no problem with the pastor. So I just want to commend you and tell you thank you for when you come to the meetings and sit in when we do need you. Thank you so much, Pastor.
Yes,
Thank you.
Agreed.
Okay. Which I was going to try to go to the meeting when they did about the how they going to equal to pass out the gas tax money.
Oh.
That's how I was going to try to make the meeting, but I'm a stay-home granddaddy now, babysit. So,
Oh, I understand that. I survived the twins. My house did not, but I did.
That's what makes there we go.
But the gas tax really is between Gainesville and the county. And so we get a small additional amount of 1%.
So now is that amount going to be cut any or?
No, it's actually going to go up for us by 1%.
So it go by, okay.
So it's not going to amount to much, but the between the county and Gainesville, we're talking about millions of dollars.
Which I think is, but we ain't gonna mess with that. Government. That's all.
I don't really care about Gainesville as long as ours is going up.
Yep.
That's all I have.
All right. Vice Mayor?
Under advice from council, I'm quiet. I don't have anything this time, Madam Mayor.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. We have a message on Wisteria Cottage about her water. Did you get that?
No.
From who?
From Wisteria Cottage.
Oh, yeah.
It was the multi-use.
Yeah, the multi-use water.
Multi-user?
Okay.
Mhm.
Is there a phone call or email?
No, it's on the tablet.
We
I
did
didn't
discuss
see
it,
it.
because she has, they have 2 businesses in there. So yes, they
She
are.
does have two?
It's she does. I'm pretty sure.
There's a massage
The
business
massage,
in there.
there's a
Yeah.
massage place.
Oh, okay.
There are maybe 2 or 3 businesses out there I'll take a look at. One has to do with the newspaper, and it's like, well, boy, it's hard to discern. So we are reviewing
Okay.
the appropriateness of all the customers.
Okay. That's clear.
Is it based on what?
It's based on business license.
Yeah.
If you have a business license, then you would be a standalone business.
Mhm.
That's how they're determined.
Well, yeah, we're.
So she has 2 licenses for that same address?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm going to give you examples. I believe it's the Talented Cookie. They have 2 businesses in there, but it's under one LLC.
That's right.
And so that's
So
one.
that's one meter.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
one
Yeah,
owner,
that's right.
under one business. They go under one business, even though it looks like.
So do they have 2 business licenses, or do
Yes,
they
no, they only one.
only have one?
Yes.
They just incorporated both of the businesses
Mhm.
already?
Mhm.
And you can do that.
Mhm.
I mean, for something like that, but I think for the, is there completely 2 different? But I think she was the one that I talked with that told her that she could do that. But they're not, they're 2 different owners, correct?
I'm not sure.
I think they're 2 different owners and that's why.
They are.
Yeah, so you can't,
So I think
If it's
it
2
comes
different
down,
owners.
if it's 2 different owners, I think that should apply.
That should,
That should-
that
yeah,
should clear that up.
But now, if it's the
Yes.
same owner of both of the businesses, I mean,
but it's
It's 2 different in this
still
case.
2 different entities. It's as if you were your own business.
So what?
It's y'all's, it's y'all's interpretation. I just go implement it. And I'm just trying to make it easier to explain to people when it's all the same.
So, so when somebody working out their home, if they got a business in their home, how does that?
It's business and residence. So we do have the grant. This law office
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
also has
that's.
an apartment. Same meter.
Mm-hmm.
So they pay both. They're going to pay both.
So they're gonna pay a residential fee?
Okay, residential and business.
Mhm.
It won't be 2 businesses. It'll be residential business.
Right.
And this month, so just so y'all know, this bills will go out on Tuesday, and this is the first month that the multi-user is on.
They were all notified.
Yes, they were.
Okay, this one.
And we send certified mail,
Right.
and most every one of them, one I just mentioned, didn't call. They called, we didn't
Mhm.
call. I expect to hear from that. I don't think it's registered.
Okay.
I would expect he would have called too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, but now, for us, okay, that one happened. For us garbage pickup, that just still.
No, garbage is one.
Okay,
Because if you've got more people, then you're gonna figure,
Yeah.
you're gonna use a larger
More.
garbage thing.
yeah.
All right, I have one other thing. And that is, I keep getting these requests from different people about these tiny houses. These tiny houses seem to be picking up steam.
Right.
And is anybody else getting these, or is it just me?
Just you.
No?
Mm-hmm.
They want High Springs to consider having a park or a development designated to tiny houses. Because they say it's a beautiful one right across the border in Georgia, and that's what everybody seems to be patterning their thoughts on, and they seem to think it might be beneficial for High Springs as a fundraiser, because you gotta have hookups for them just like you do trailers and everything else. And I must have gotten about 6 emails or so about these little tiny houses.
You send that to me because I'm going through my email, I got that,
Okay.
got that on.
You
Yeah,
got one too?
I know.
Yeah, I finally got it.
Oh, okay.
But they got the cart before the horse right now because
That's not unusual.
I know what they really need to do is an individual that has property needs to come so we can go to
Find
the
some
planning and
place.
zoning board and we can discuss it there because right now our zoning or our comprehensive plan doesn't allow it.
Allow
But
that.
But given that board and this board actually approves everything from the planning and zoning board, but they are allowed to study it more, and you need their recommendation. So we need somebody to come forward that has the land that wants to do it, and we can certainly.
That's first things first.
Yeah, first things first.
But I was just surprised that I've been getting so many of these.
Sure.
It's starting to flow through.
Maybe your neighbors think you need to move, and it gives you some
Well, that's the good thing. I got no neighbors.
Yeah, I know, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
with that, if, I'm done. I'll entertain-
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Meeting adjourned.